Hey everyone. Today I want to talk about Student Learning Outcome E. Before I get into Student Learning Outcome E, I'd like to say that I believe that when it comes to reviews, Student Learning Outcome E is probably the most crucial of all the SLOs. Student Learning Outcome E is defined in the 2015 English 120 syllabus as the ability to analyze and describe the value of incorporating various languages, dialects, and registers in your own and other text. I simply describe Slo E as how language is used in order to enhance a writing composition. As you can imagine, in a review, the type of language used is what makes the review. It's what makes it either a rant review, a rave review, or a formal review. As we've discussed, a rant review is over-the-top negative language about the item and the person that is being reviewed. A rave review is still over-the-top language, but is more an affirmative, positive way about what's being reviewed. A formal review is an unbiased review that talks about the negatives and the positives without using over-the-top language. In Project 2, we looked at various reviews and decided if it was a rant, rave, or formal review based on the language used. It was important to break down the language in these reviews to become better at writing reviews as a writer. Being able to effectively use the proper language in your review or any type of writing is crucial in having an effective piece of writing. It could either make or break the assignment. Another important part of Student Learning Outcome E is understanding your audience. You must gear the language that you use towards the audience that you're presenting to. For example, a guy like Rush Limbaugh has a very conservative audience. So he is able to rant more and use more negative language when talking about more liberal viewpoints and Democrat politicians, while he is able to rave for very conservative politicians and conservative policies. While someone on the PBS NewsHour probably wants to be more formal when giving a review, if a review at all. The audience is crucial in determining the type of language that is acceptable to be used to efficiently present your argument. Also, you want your language to be audience appropriate. If you're writing a review for a children's book that parents will be reading, you might want to be a little bit more formal and use more G-rated language. Another important part of Student Learning Outcome E is being able to identify when language is not effectively used in a piece of writing. For example, the Men in Black review, which tried to take the form of a rant, but ended up being just kind of words put onto a page, and it was not very effective. I think most of the class would agree with me on that also. Another good example in Project 2 of how important language is in writing an effective review is the Violent Media is Good for Kids review. While overall, this informal review was written fairly well, I would still believe language such as violent could have been taken out and replaced with something like just conflict. Something that seems less of a negative term and more of an affirmative term. A struggle that I often face with Student Learning Outcome E is trying not to be too over the top with either a rant or a rave when trying to write an informal review. For example, when I'm writing about something that it's supposed to be an informal review, but that I really enjoy, it's hard to stay a little unbiased and still point out the negatives. Like I wrote about the restaurant Trombino's, and I really enjoy Trombino's, but I also had to think of negative experiences that I've had there in order to write my informal review, so it did not seem too positive. Another struggle that I face when in Student Learning Outcome E is not being repetitive in the things I say. Sometimes when writing a rant or a rave, I'll get stuck on one thing that I either really like or that really bugs me, and I will want to keep talking about that over and over again without pointing out other problems or positive parts of what I'm reviewing. In conclusion, Student Learning Outcome E is crucial in any piece of writing. It is also very, very crucial when writing any type of review.